where QR codes kill kittens and customer service is an oxymoron, UnPodcast has set out to make things right. This is the UnPodcast.
Hello and welcome to the UnPodcast.
See, not really established.
Established in 2015-ish. I think the ish should go after also established.
Established-ish in 2015-ish.
But if it already has an ish in it, established-ish, established-ish, it's not going to work.
No, you don't like it?
So Pickles. So for those of you who are not, and by the way, Steph, this is what a wonderful pickle picture
You did a great job, Steph.
The white space around the pickles really accents the pickles themselves. And the thing about a podcast is the majority of people in podcasts listen to audio, not video. So as we discuss this perfect positioning of pickles that Steph has picked out for the screen.
A pile of pickles.
A pile of pickles, if you will, that Wayne just said. Thank you, Wayne. It was again, perfectly stated.
Oh my
is the fact that we discussed that I said, without a shadow of a doubt, that Scott, your boy here, because Alison was wondering, how do we segue into pickles in the opening? And I said, I got it. And then that opening was just something else, and my segue was nothing.
Yeah, so let me tell you how we create the UnPodcast. Scott hands me an article about pickles.
And you say, okay.
And then it's like, I'll take care of it. I'll segue.
We'll do something about that. Because when you're surfing the internet, right, on any website, whether it be favoritewebsite.com, domain.com, or I love pickles website domain.com, you know that you'll find pickles like this. So that's fine.
I kind of wish it was a better story about pickles.
Just listen. If you only listen to the show, could you please just at least for a moment, because Spotify has video now. So if you're listening on Spotify, pop over to the video or go to YouTube and just check out the pickle picture that Steph picked, because the pile of pickle pickers that Peter Pickle picked is perfect. Thank you, Steph.
Oh my goodness.
I'm just gonna stare at the pickles for a while.
I'm gonna read this article. It's from Global News, and it has a fantastic opening sentence. BC Ferries is finding itself in a bit of a public relations pickle.
The pickles have a lot of bumps on them. That's crazy.
Oh,
Sorry.
Stop. William Fraser and his family like to visit Vancouver Island and their 12-year-old loves to get a traditional white spot burger on board. Legendary burger, no tomatoes, no cheese, extra pickle, and fries with honey and mustard for the fries, William said. That's his order. The family was...
Terrible order. I'm sorry, he's a child. I'm so sorry. I'm seeing it's perfectly fine for him.
This is a small child. This is his favorite hamburger.
No taste whatsoever.
The family was on the ferry.
Get him, Scott.
On April 6th, William ordered his usual, which, William, I think it is a fantastic order. Okay, don't let Scott judge you.
I'm sorry, William.
And he opened the burger, and there's no pickles, right? Everything
100%.
else is there.
100%.
So, in the past, when this has happened, it happens sometimes. You get something, it doesn't come. They always would bring the pickles. So he got there, he got to the front of the line, he walked up to the cashier, and he said that, really love some new pickles. And they said, basically like, it says, so I got there and the person's like, oh, I'm sorry, you need to pay for those. And I'm so confused because the last time this happened, I didn't have to pay for pickles. You shouldn't really have to pay for pickles because pickles were missing from the order. And she said with a straight and plain face, nobody gets free pickles on the BC ferries.
Ooh. That's what you know.
Yeah.
That's known.
And so he posted about it online. And one of the interesting things is one might think this isn't there's a lot of issues we can talk about on the podcast. And perhaps pickles may not seem like a big deal. But he shared it online and he said how much people reacted to this, because it does sort of seem to be a general, let's say, trend that we're finding that the things that used to be free or part of what was considered to be good service are now being extra.
Right.
Costs.
Yeah.
And so for him, it was the pickle, which was super important that we talked about first. And Scott had a great segue.
You did great, baby. You're the gherkin in my eye. Let's go.
Just like pickles. Another story from Fortune.com, Doritos prices jumped 50% in 4 years, and PepsiCo waited until it lost billions to do something. So if you can't get your pickles, and instead you want to have some chips, you're facing a similar problem. Pepsi chairman and CEO took to the news, right? The skyrocketing price of Doritos, Lay's, and Cheetos have pushed away cash-strapped consumers and have lost Frito-Lay billions. The company is slashing prices to course correct, but its effort may be too little too late. Ahead of the Super Bowl, Frito-Lay, a subsidiary of PepsiCo, started cutting prices on its portfolio of chips like Lay's, Doritos, Cheetos, and Tostitos by 15%, as consumers sought cheaper options. The quick pivot on chip prices comes after years of price increases that have cut the company's market value by $50 billion since its height in 2023.
Yeah.
So the CEO came out and basically said, like, people shouldn't have to choose between taste and staying with their budget. And I just didn't know Doritos was a luxury item.
Here's my problem.
What's happening?
Here's my problem among many problems I have. This CEO, going off of what I said in last week's show as well about how much work they do of these billion-dollar companies, which is nothing. This CEO pontificates to the world that we need to make it better for people so they can afford the nice little necessities of life like snacks and chips because they can't. Do you know why people...
Didn't know chips.
But do you know why people can't afford these? Because you set the price this high. I can't deal with CEOs or companies saying we're going to reduce the price to help consumers when they were the causes of the inflation in the first place.
Yeah.
Inflation that happened after the pandemic, the crazy inflation that happened, the majority. You pick your study. If you're listening right now and you don't believe me, I'm not going to give you the study. You can pick one from Cambridge, you can pick from Oxford, you can pick from Penn State, these studies. That the majority of the crazy inflation we had during a pandemic when we're all supposed to band together and help each other out, the majority of the cause of inflation was corporate profit. I need you to hear that again. The reason why Doritos were so expensive is because Doritos wanted more pure profit.
They call it greedflation. That's their made up word that we used to talk about.
Yeah, it's just greed.
Greedflation.
Yeah.
It's just greed.
Yeah, it's not greedflation. It's just greed. Okay? And it's companies saying, you know what? It's like the person that punches me in the face and says, I'm so sorry. I can just slap you from now on.
Yeah.
Right? Because
you didn't do a good intro with the pickles.
That's the problem, is the pickle hurt it, right? And then I get smacked in the face. But this is the issue. It's like McDonald's right now. We're going to bring you back some value, like the old McDonald's value meal, because we care about people.
But they
no,
took
you don't.
the value away.
The only reason Doritos, you do not, I repeat, not one corporation in the history that has shareholders once has ever reduced their price to help customers. Not once. Again, I can't blanket statement this because I could get sued. Not once has a corporation reduced price or profit ever, for reasons other than they think it'll lead to other more profit or down the road.
Look, we chose Spanish Doritos in our picture.
We see all.
Sorry.
Look, this is what kills me though. We justify raising the price of frickin' Doritos.
Yeah.
We justify raising the price of everything. We justify raising the price of cars. The automotive industry made more profit in 2020, 2023 than any time in their history.
Yeah.
We justify the raise of every single one of these things except somebody's pay. That's everything we raise. We are perfectly fine raising the prices of cheeseburgers, of gas, and of Doritos, except for the people who make them. Except for the people who are in the factory that make them. Except for the people who are on the road that are the distributor for these products. We don't want to raise their pay. We don't raise the pay of people driving the trucks that get these Doritos to the rest stops and the gas stations and the convenience stores you buy them from.
Exactly.
And then the CEO turns around and says, I'm going to do something great for you all and reduce our greed slightly so we can enjoy it later.
Before the Super Bowl of all things, where we make more money than at any other time. They're making it as if it's not what's going to make them money.
In a world where 4 companies own everything between themselves and subsidiaries that they have of all consumer products, I am done with leadership of these places trying to say they're doing something for us. Because if it's not reducing the price temporarily so we can get a better market share back, it's reducing the content of the packages,
or the
which
size,
is shrinkflation.
It's
called shrinkflation.
We can just call it, and we don't have
right, but where they have it's the same price, we're going to give you less product.
Yeah.
And that's how it works. We're going to give you the same price, but we're going to take out the good ingredient that you like.
I saw one, it was a shampoo bottle, and they had the shampoo bottles side by side.
Right.
And the shampoo had gotten more expensive. The bottle was bigger, but there was less shampoo inside of it.
And when you cut the bottle open,
Yeah.
there's actually a separate bottle inside. It's a mini bottle inside the large bottle.
Yeah.
They're like,
So no one
that's just
notices.
aesthetic and packaging. And as you know, somebody who adores packaging,
Yeah.
who is a fan. I have the jersey packaging. Big
does.
fan of the
He
team.
loves the packaging.
I love packaging. I love
does.
packaging and how you do it. I love the style and design. But there's things as unethical packaging.
Yeah.
And that's what happens now. It's like people when you open a bag of chips, and this has been lifetime. I don't think anybody listening right now, if you've ever opened a bag of chips, you're like, oh, is that it? Because it shrinks during shipping, all these type of.
But I thought that, like, the bottle getting bigger for the shampoo and something that
you hear
that
it's sold on weight, not volume. That's the
reasonable
line.
people, like, it gets to the point where it's just like they're beside
Right.
the smaller bottle.
Are you trying to
acting
deceive the
like
person?
it's right beside the smaller bottle.
To things that taste different. We just had, for the first time ever, we have like Fruit Loops in the house, and I'm like,
Not ever.
Right.
I'm not a monster.
I don't recall Fruit Loops being in the home. And so I was like, I am your Huckleberry for a bowl of these bad boys.
Yeah, you were excited
Right, but
about
I'm
the
raw
Fruit
dogging
Loops.
it. No milk, just straight dry Fruit Loops because, it's got to go right into the temple. They don't taste the same.
Yeah.
Now, I might not because I'm not 9.
It's probably because you're not 9. But I'm sure they've also changed since you were 9.
Yeah, this didn't taste the same. I don't know. Can somebody talk to Toucan Sam? Is he still the mascot?
I don't think so.
Rest in peace, Toucan Sam. Rest in peace. Speaking of child mascots, you may have noticed.
See, that's a segue.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Your first one got me in a real pickle.
Speaking of pickles,
we talking about pickles, so that got me into a pickle. So you may have seen, some of you who are listening, watching right now, maybe even the crew. Maybe you watch. We have some people in the crew here have families. Some we know about, some we don't. And we look at things. We watch things. We like to watch creators and people makes videos and
We
stuff
do?
that watch about their life. I had a dad blog for a while, right, as well. And
Yeah.
so it's like, so we talk about that. It's one of the things you talk about. You may have noticed your favorite family vloggers or creators, we say. Last year or maybe the year before, you may have noticed some of them were saying, hey, we're actually going to move. And they're like, we're going to go to Nashville now. And a bunch of people and families left California to go to Texas and Nashville to continue vlogging, but to have a change of scenery. They didn't tell you actually why, though. And some of those people are now moving out of Tennessee now, too, and somewhere else. Why? Well, it's because of the law. And let me tell you, I'm going to bring you the Tennessee one here, because this
Okay.
is the newest thing.
Okay.
But this is the same idea as what California did 2 years ago. In 2024, which made the originally move out. Ready? Here we go. This is from WSMV.com, online website.com. Tennessee bill regulating family influencers passes legislature. Okay? Influencers who feature kids in their content will now be required by law to pay those children a portion of the money they make online. SB 1469 is headed to Governor Bill Lee's desk after passing both the House and Senate earlier this month. It puts new child labor law regulations in place aimed at protecting kids who are heavily featured in monetized online content. So here's the facts here. Under the bill, kids under the age of 14 cannot make money from posting their own content.
okay.
2, kids between the age of 14 and 18 are entitled to 100% of the money made from content they post themselves.
Good.
3, if a child appears in at least 30% of a creator's monetized content within a 30-day period, they must be compensated for it. The bill requires the money to be set aside in a trust accessible to the child when they turn 18. 4, content creators must keep records of their content and track things like how much money they're making, how much of the content featured the child, and how much money they've set aside in a trust. And finally, if a child between the ages 14 and 18 asks to have a video with them in it taken down, the content creator must delete it.
I think those are good rules. I would probably go a little further, but I would probably put more in terms of consent for the kids. But I think that it makes a lot of sense. I mean, if a family is able to make a lot of money, you can't always necessarily trust that money is being saved for the child, and especially if the content is revolving around the children.
Let me give you the California one now.
Okay. And the California was before Tennessee.
Was in 2024, yeah. So it says, let me me find the actual law. The Protecting Child Social Media Influence follows the first in nation legislation. All children under the age of 18 in Illinois was under 16. California says parents and guardians who monetize their children's online presence to establish a trust for the stars. And the law entitles child influencers to a percentage of earnings based on how often they appear that generates at least 10 cents per view.
Yeah.
The children could sue their parents for failing to do so. Children employed as content creators on platforms such as YouTube will also have at least 15% of their earnings deposited in a trust as well.
I think it's good.
An existing state law has provided such protection to child actors since 1939 after a silent film era child actor Jackie Coogan sued his parents for squandering his earnings, which is a whole world. And it's something that is, I find it a really fascinating topic. I don't know if fascinating is the right word, but when I used to talk to people, just in general, just talk to people, just that's it. That's the whole sentence. No, but especially when I would go to dinners because of our influence on social media.
Yeah.
Where you start talking, and then TikTok started blowing up, and I got to go to a couple dinners, and it was a few parents there of teen kind of TikTok people, and I was talking to one of the dads once, and one of the moms with the other group, and I was trying to bridge the question of, are they making any of this?
Yeah.
So because my two concerns were they're exploiting the kid for money, and if the kid is in and they want to be their own, it's like that should be yours, part of it. And the other side is just the crazy world of having your children out there online in the world.
That's what I mean. That it's like,
and I'm like, and they also didn't sign up.
And I think that like that idea is good to protect kids in terms of the economics of it. And I think that it makes parents remember that if the kid's in the video, they're part of what brings the value in a very really material way.
Yeah.
But I think there's a bigger problem in terms of likenesses and faces and kids growing up and whether they want to be featured in that way.
Yeah.
And I think that that's more complex.
Right. And the right to your own image.
And the right to control your own image.
100%.
And also whether parents are thinking about that and how parents are thinking about it, even for themselves. Like, I think that we started pretty early on with social media, with influencing, and had our kids on. And I think that we've also changed. And I just think it's something to be super duper cautious with and really make sure you've thought about the consent and the impact on your kids.
Because it's also, there's a shift now because everything is so video based. Back when we were doing it was written blogs for the most part. It was writing a blog.
I don't think I ever posted videos. It was really writing about them a little bit.
I think Owen appeared 2 seconds in one video once at the end of a video.
Because it's hard. Like, you can't escape those images, and it's their faces.
But also, just like the kid who you sign up for sports early on because it's your dream, whenever they want to opt out, can they?
Yeah. I do the most important, I think, in that bill is that consent over 14. I
100%.
think it should be younger, to be honest. I see no reason why an 8-year-old shouldn't also be able to say they don't want to be in a video.
They should have agency, right?
That's all I mean, is our kids were perfectly capable to say whether they wanted to be in something much younger than 14, but it was 14, I think, right?
Yeah.
But I do think at least having that, consent.
But that also teaches them things,
but it should
right?
be much younger, I think.
100%.
Yeah.
But also, I'm very glad this is a point where they've started with, because it's just, again, so funny.
Because the economics of it is important, though,
so if you do watch anybody who is based out of Tennessee now,
that's moving.
That's a family vlogger, and they're just. But here's the thing: we were talking about this on the way here. My favorite part about this, the funny part to this to me, is them giving any other reason they're leaving other than this bill. So a bunch left California 2024. They're like, it's just the coast is too much. We can't deal with this weather in California. We're off to Tennessee. We need some inland stuff.
The government policy just moving their
We need the sea again. We're going to Texas. It's just like they're never going to mention it. Or somebody was transferred for their job. They don't have a job. You said it on the vlog already.
The kid changes schools every time.
The kid changes schools. They were transferred from Nashville to San Diego. It doesn't happen that way, right?
Change schools so you could keep them from making 10%, which is not really.
That's the point. It's seeing that saying, oh my God.
Your own child, man.
What are you running from?
Your own child.
Apparently just accountability. Yeah. That's what it is for most people. So luckily, this show does put 15% away for me when I turn emotionally 18. So I cannot
Established. We're on our way.
We're established.
We're on our way.
The problem is there's no real way I'm ever going to get the money. So, because its full maturity has been predicted, will not be reached.
Yeah, can you be careful with your microphone, sir?
Speaking of full maturity.
Watch out.
Wayne only jumps in when I hurt the microphone at this point.
They're his responsibility.
All right, then I can segue into ending this about pickles. Ready? Pickles. That's all I've got. I've got nothing. Yeah, the picture of Pickles is back up. There we go. You can end it now. I got nothing else about Pickles. Go. I'll do it the next one. Yeah? All right. Pickles.
You're just bailing and you're stopping on Pickles?
I'm stopping on Pickles.
You're just done.
Wait, kick the music. We out.
Actually?
I don't even have headphones on. But I can't hear the music out of the headphones. Is the show ending?
Do you want it to?
It's not ending.
I can't stop.
Is the music playing? I don't know.
There's no music playing. We're still recording.
We're still recording the show.
Be sure to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes and visit unpodcast.com. And remember, friends don't let friends use QR codes.